Hey, hello, welcome to the show. It is me, JP. It is time for JP's product pick of the week. And I thank you for stopping by. Thanks for hopping on over to our channel today. We've got people in our chats, and I want to thank them for stopping by. I'm able to keep an eye over on our YouTube chat. So hello, OG Thinkster and Incredimike and Justin Kovacic. I'm going to guess on your last name pronunciation. Good day to you. Thanks for stopping by. We also have our Discord, so if you're over on Twitch or Facebook or somewhere where we don't seem to be in the chat, that's true in this case, but you can head right here to the live broadcast chat channel of the Adafruit Discord, which is at adafruit.it/discord. Head on over there, you'll get an instant link over to our server, and you can join these good folks like Sam J. Ohio and DJ Devon 3, C. Grover, Thin Man, Blitz City DIY, Jim Hendrickson, hello. And thanks for hopping in today. Starman, hello. I see you typing away there. Gary Z, welcome. So what we've got here today, first of all, I did some lighting changes because of a green screen I wanted to put on the desk there, which now makes me look like I'm green screened in front of my own background, but I assure you this is real, all this stuff. I'm lit a little different and a little cooler. So let's see, what do we have here today? So I've got a product I want to show you. If you want to check out the product in advance, if you want to watch this show from a little YouTube window embedded right in the product page, then go here to this URL. Cool one, this is product 5999. You can go to that QR code as well, that should take you there. And you will see that we have this week's product on a deep discount. You can get it for 50% off. No coupon code is necessary. You just throw it in your cart, buy it before the end of the show. We will set the price back up to normal at the end of the show. We have 100 in stock to start with. And before I tease it anymore, I'm going to let Lady Ada tell you all about it. So take it away, Lady Ada.
This is the CH334F, right? 334F from WCH. Nice little chip. If you want to embed a hub into a circuit where you don't want USB ports, like making it big and chunky, we just give you the data, power, and ground lines. It just looks like a hub. I think it's MTT compatible. I know some folks care about that. Nice big capacitors. LEDs to let you know which ports are enumerated. USB-C for the uplink, and then if you don't want to use USB-C, we also have 4 pins at the bottom for the host port. So, basically you can turn any product into a hub, especially if it's internal where you don't necessarily have USB cables on everything. So you want to make your keyboard into also have an internal USB device or something, or you just have a compact single board computer setup. You want to have your one USB port, like on your Raspberry Pi Zero W single board computer, and you want to have 2 devices instead of 1. This port will take 1 port. This hub will take 1 port and make it 2. It's the same chip, because honestly, it was just easier to use and cheaper to use this chip than to find a specialty 2-port hub. So it's basically half the size of the 4-port version, but it still has the mounting holes, LEDs to let you know which port is enumerated, and USB-C uplink.
Indeed. So this right here, what's this thing's name? I'm going to get it wrong too. This right here is my product pick of the week this week. It is the CH334F Mini 2-port USB hub. And I do mean mini. This thing is less than an inch square. It's about the size of a postage stamp. It has 1 uplink connection. You can use either over a USB-C plug or solder wires onto that to go to your host computer. And then we have 2 side ports there. Again, we're not using big chunky connectors. We're gonna tell you, go ahead and solder something to these 2. And those are 2 downstream ports that are good for USB 2.0 speeds. They can also work backward compatible with USB 1.1 if you have a device, I don't know, an old mouse or something like that that uses that. But this is really cool. What's the point of this? The point is to be able to embed a little USB hub inside of a project so that it doesn't take the normal big deck of cards or larger space of a USB hub, but instead allows you to string up a couple of devices that you'll just have a single plug to go into your computer. So I have a demo. I'm going to show you that in a moment. First, I want to go to the product page and check it out and show you the Learn Guide as well. So here you go. This is, as I said, product 5999. So you can go to adafruit.it/ and then the product number. It'll take you right there. And this is normally $4.50. Today it's slashed in half during the show, during the live stream only, $2.25. We stashed away 100 of them, so you should be able to get a couple if you want them for your projects. We've sold a few already. If you take a little look and a scroll down here, you'll get some of the salient details. There's a link here to the chip specification for that chip family. And you can scroll even further down to the Learn Guide right here. So primary guide, and I've got it pulled up right here. This is courtesy of Liz. Thanks for putting the guide together. So we have here the nice close-up photos there, some info about the chip. We make a 4-port and a 2-port version. We're only doing the 2-port version today because we were basically out of stock on the 4-port, so we couldn't stash away enough to make it meaningful. But you can get these. We had 100 stashed away. And so these are the 2-port one. You can see how small that is. There's the 4-port next to a quarter. If you take a look at the next page, we've got the pin out, and these are identical for the two. This is the one we're focusing on here today. So for USB 2.0 and backward compatible to 1.1, all you need are 4 wires, 4 pins. Sometimes you'll see a shielding wire, a 5th pin that can also go to ground if you need it to. The connector, a USB-A connector. Let me see if I can find one here somewhere. Here's one. Right, so that type of connector in there, if you look inside there, you'll see 4 traces. Those are the 4 connectors that plug in. That's what we need, and those are ground and power, 5 volt and ground. And we have differential data there, so D plus and D minus. So those are the 4 pins. If you slice open your USB cable, you're going to find 4 wires there, excuse me, and you will attach them to these. Usually green is the D plus, white is the D minus, black is ground, 5 volt is red. You will want to verify that with a continuity checker before you go and connect things. The host port, it says here, is also a regular plug, a USB-C plug there, so you can just plug that in. Or you can use the one at the bottom. You won't want to use both at once. And then we have the 2 downstream ports on this, and that would be something like connecting both a mouse and a keyboard in that, or a microcontroller, or a MIDI device, maybe 2 MIDI devices, and then just have a single plug to go in. We also have status LEDs, so both the host port as well as the 2 downstream ports each have their own green status LED to show when they're lit up and in use. And then last thing we have is a downloads page, which shows you links to the datasheet, the CAD file, and the 2 fritzing files. And you've also got some schematic drawings here and fab print that you can check out if you're interested in how that is connected up. And then what I thought I'd do is drop on over here to this view of the world. So what I've got, right, that's our little hub there, is an old-fashioned 3-button HP mouse that I had in a drawer of mice. And I've opened this up. I've inserted the hub between the original mouse cable and the mouse, and I've also added a flash drive in there. USB thumb drive is also plugged in, and I'll open that up and show you. But we can see in the background here, this is a Finder window on my Mac, and I'm going to go ahead and pull that up so I can see it. Where are you? There you go. And then I'm going to plug in my mouse. So I've just got a USB extension cable here so you can see me plugging it in. Normally you just plug this into the computer or another hub. So I'm going to plug that in to my computer. And not only is my mouse working now, but you can see a new flash drive has shown up that says mouse drive. So this is really great for having kind of a all-in-one. I just need to plug this in, do something, grab some files before the embassy security is alerted and hop over the wall, or bring a movie with you to the library that you want to watch. If you have a single port to plug in, this mouse will let you plug in, but it's not just a mouse. It's got this secret. So you can see here, I can click on the drive there. It's got a folder in there, which is upsettingly Lars' top secret folder. What does Lars have in there? Oh, okay, he's got a text file, eyes only. He's got a PNG of himself. What an ego on that guy. And a little music file. I can play that if I hit space. You can hear that playing. So this is just a 4 gigabyte flash drive sitting here that happens to be essentially embedded in the mouse without having to do a lot of custom work. So people have done these types of things before, where you insert a keylogger or microcontroller into a mouse or a keyboard. Sometimes it requires a lot of custom engineering. In this case, it's actually really dead simple. I'll open it up in a second and show it to you. But you can see here, I'll even eject this drive using the mouse that it is a part of. So it's living in there. Eject mouse drive. That'll pop the drive out, but it is still functioning as a mouse. If I go ahead and unplug that cable there, no more mouse, no more drive. So let's take a look. I'll switch the view. Actually, I'll leave that view as it is, and I'll pop the mouse open. So this mouse had a single screw that I unscrewed, and then some clips, some plastic clips that you kind of just pull and pry. Sounds horrible, but I don't think I broke it. And let's see, I'm gonna zoom in on this view, and I think I'll turn off the green screen so I can get you a better look at it. So let me, since the board is green there that I'm using, let's turn off green screen, and I'll actually remove the screen matte. There we go. That's a better view of the world. And let me just adjust some exposure and lighting on there as well. And I'll fix the focus. There we go. Okay, so what's going on here is originally, as I peel back the layers here, you can see this black cable is the mouse cable that was connected to this connector here. I spliced that out and soldered the mouse wire. Now it's the hub wire directly to the port side of the upstream connection. So that's what goes to the computer. And then I have essentially two peripherals plugged in on the downstream side. One is the mouse, just kept using its original little JST 4-pin connector there. And then this is a thumb drive that I gutted. Kind of neat thing actually about this thumb drive, I realized it has some nibbles built into it, probably so that it can be used in a couple of different enclosures by the manufacturer. So down here are some LEDs, or one LED that shows status. You can snap that off, and here's space for another space for an LED. So if this was shorter, or I think even one level shorter, so that's kind of neat. I left it intact as it is. But now you can see if I plug this back in, let me retrieve that USB extension cable. So this will, you can see, turns on the mouse, turns on the hub, turns on the thumb drive. All that stuff is back in action. And if I want to, I can go use that cursor now to go back into that drive. So that's it. It's a hub, except it's tiny, right? It's not this big, it's this big, which is pretty useful for this type of project or other embedded things. I can see gaming projects might be useful. A lot of people like to take gaming devices and shrink them down real small if they have USB and you only want a single connector. This is a way to maybe get a couple controllers onto a single wire, that sort of thing. Like I said, MIDI things, music stuff, synth things, hackery stuff, spy things. If you remember, I was I'll be working on my Doom keyboard project that uses the same exact product. Actually, I'm moving that project down to the 2-port hub. I don't need the 4 ports anymore, so more on that on Thursday. So that is it in action. A really cool gizmo. You can, like I said, use either upstream wired, soldered directly, or plugged in. But the 2 side ports there are really meant to be soldered into something. You could also put this on a breadboard, which is kind of useful for testing purposes. So yeah, so over in the comments, let's pop back over there, back in Discord. Everyone knows not to plug in a random USB flash drive, but a USB mouse? Yeah, right? That's plausible. I can't think of how many times in the last 10 years I've seen hacker shows and movies where someone drops a thumb drive so that someone will pick it up and plug it in. I think everyone knows not to do that now. But a mouse, yeah, maybe make it a good one, or even a keyboard. Sure, kind of anything, right? It could be a fan, a mug warmer, whatever you want. As long as it plugs in over USB, you can probably hijack things and use a little tiny hub. Let's see. Other questions. Tyeth, can you chain them, and how many in theory? Presumably they're passive powered, not active USB hubs, so not too many. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. That would be worth maybe just a test, put a current meter on there and see what it's drawing. DJ73 asked if you connect 2 microcontrollers, will it enumerate them both, such as 2 Pi Picos? Todd answers yes, this is a regular USB 2 hub, just without the plugs. Yeah, so I've used a single KB2040 on one of these and it worked fine. I haven't tried doing 2 microcontrollers, but pretty cool. Any other questions? Questions in, yeah, similar question over in YouTube. Could you chain these? Yeah, probably get a whole lot of hub packed into a very tiny space, especially if you packed up a bunch of these into, yeah, with the 4-port ones. Yeah, and the 4-port one is neat. These ones, essentially, if you do what I'm doing here and take a plug that was already going into something, then you've really just got the one extra plug, right? I went from having a mouse to having a mouse and a flash drive, so this is the good use case for that. Increda Mike says, oh, I like the WCH microcontrollers. Yeah, which reminds me, if we head back to the product page, if you click on the data sheet, this is from WCH with their very tightly kerned logo there. And this tells you some facts about it. So the chip on here, as Lady Ada has mentioned, is the same chip on both our 2-port and our 4-port versions. It was just easier to use this 4-port chip and not build 2 extra sets of ports on the breakout. So this is actually a 4-port hub. We're just using the first 2 ports on that. Mentions here for USB 2 high speed, full speed upstream port, USB 2 high speed, 480 megabits per second full speed, 12 megabits, and low speed 1.5 for downstream. Low cost STT mode and the high performance MTT mode, which is why these bigger caps are on here. And yeah, the rest is just talking about some of the built-in features of the chip. So if you want to find out more about it, you can check out their data sheet there and some of the different packages. So we're using this CH334F variant right here, which has the 4 ports built into it. All right, other questions? Think we're good? All right, so like I said, you can head over to that page right there. We have 77 in stock, so we've sold through 30 or so of them, but if you want to pick some up, throw them in your cart. You can get maximum of 10 per customer, depending on your needs. And I recommend, if you want to test things out before committing to them, we do have some little USB-A plugs with DuPont connection pins on the end. Let's see, USB cable. See if I can find those. Yeah, so here's a plug breakout and a socket breakout, and I found these pretty useful for testing stuff out on the hub before you've committed to it and cut the cables and wired directly. So, especially if you put one of these on a breadboard, these are kind of nice to have. Okay, I think that's gonna do it for today. So let's jump back to here, and where'd I lose this one to? Right. So that's it. That's my product pick of the day today. It's the CH334F Mini 2-port USB hub. For Adafruit Industries, I'm John Park. This has been JP's product pick of the week, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Hubba hubba.